Kathy joined Vopak in 2020 and is currently the Vice President of Operations and Technology for the U.S. and Canada business units. She oversees operations, EQ, asset management, and growth prospects for the company's liquid storage terminals and new energy ventures. Prior to Vopak, she was the Director of Operations and Production at GHA Barnett, overseeing the exploration and development of Barnett shale oil and gas assets. Kathy has spent 20 plus years in operational engineering and leadership roles with a large and small independent oil and gas company. She holds a master's degree in petroleum engineering and education, as well as a bachelor's degree in environmental engineering. Please help me welcome Kathy Stewart. Thank you.
All right, well, welcome. That was a great presentation, very inspirational. I don't know if I can be that inspirational. I'm going to talk a little bit about my business and kind of what we do as we are transitioning a 400-year-old company. So that's my topic today. Like he said, my name is Kathy Stewart. I'm the Vice President of Operations and Technology for Vopak. I've been with the company for a little over 3 years. Started out as a terminal manager and worked to the position I have now. Previously, I did a lot of oil and gas upstream engineering and asset management. So, click. Oh, is this mine right here? So this is what I'm going to talk about today. First, a little overview, if you are not familiar with Vopak, who we are, and our transition that we're currently going through, a little bit of our sustainability, and then I'm going to spend most time on the people, since that's what we're here to talk about today. So Vopak at a glance, who are we? We're a global bulk liquid storage company. We have been around for 400 years. We have about 5,500 people worldwide, and we're in 23 countries and 76 terminals worldwide. Our headquarters is in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam. Locally, we are in the U.S.-Canada business unit. That's where I'm out of, which is headquartered here in Houston, and one of our largest terminals globally at Deer Park, our facility there. We have about 8 million barrels of chemical and liquid storage, and it's a great location right there on strategic Houston Ship Channel. So this is just a little bit of our history. Where our logo comes from, the red hats. We were part of the supply chain 400 years ago, and we continue to do that today. And our logo has been, we store vital products with care. And we've latched onto that. I think it is true to our heart of what we do. We store these products. We are worried about safety, sustainability, our customers, our partners, and in the protection of those products. We do not own any of our products. We merely store them and provide the logistics for those products. But as we're transitioning, one of our core values to our company is sustainability, growth, and a protection of the environment, and being a value in the supply chain. And where we want to go is into new energies, is one of our big initiatives. So we're going through this rebranding process, being that bulk storage company that we've known in the past, and going into helping the world flow forward. And really, what's that telling the community, our partners, and our customers, is that we are dedicated to the future of energy. And that's where we're driving. It's quite a big shift where we are being part of that transition. We're creating joint ventures, we're investing money, new technologies, and infrastructure into that flowing future. So our strategy is set on a improve, grow, and accelerate model. Where we want to grow is we want to continue our core business. We want to continue those industry terminals and improve our operations, improve our returns for our customers and our partners, and then grow our core business. We have committed to $1 billion in investments into those terminals, and then we've also added the accelerate, which is those new energies, the new technologies, and we've committed a $1 billion investment into those as well. And I'll talk about a few of them as we go through today. So this is just a little quick slide on the position of the future of energy, how we deliver. We have a proven track record in the industry in our current business that we do, and that's kind of our foundation of where we're building from. Then we go into a well-diversified portfolio. As you saw on that first screen, we are well logistically located in all the energy hubs globally throughout the world. So we're right there to connect those ports, those industries, those manufacturers to this new future, new energies. Oh, and went a little quick there. We got one more on the bottom. And then we drive progress. So the energy transition offers opportunities. We see those opportunities out there, and we see the change in LNG, the desire for hydrogen, the desire for ammonium, and then that's where we're willing to invest. So here's just a little bit of the phase of that energy transition, kind of where you see we've gone from coal, our natural gases, up through, we're looking at hydrogen, and then large-scale electrification, ammonia carriers, into electricity storage, which we just acquired a business right here in the Houston area to store electricity, and then into going to a zero carbon future. So now I'll go into a couple projects that we have real quick. We are very interested in developing LNG infrastructure and storage throughout the world. Here's some of the examples of projects we've done and you can look on our portfolio page as we continue to engage in this market, liquid natural gas and petroleum storage as well. Repurposing, we just had a large project in the West Coast where we repurposed 22 storage tanks into sustainable aviation fluid and renewable diesel to adjust to the markets as well as lower the carbon footprint. And here's one in Singapore where we're looking at helping to decarbonize the marine industry. With the maritime, it's a biomethane bunkering. So quickly through that, another part of this is creating a sustainable roadmap. So as we're investing in this new energy's future, we also look at to reduce our carbon footprint. So we have a target of a 60% reduction of our carbon footprint by 2030. In Europe, it's a little more legally and the regulations have helped kind of push that. Here, not so much in the US, but we're kind of taking that drive, and because it's our initiative, we're investing in this change on our own as our company, as one of our core goals. And that goes through the people, the planet, and the profit. We talked a little bit about a net zero community. I think at the end of that, I want to get into our people. So we'll kind of go through this a little quicker. So, and that's what we're really here to talk about today, really, is our people. And how are we going to get? So I talked a little bit about our goals, where we want to be as a company, that transition, that big movement that we're making. Well, how are we going to get there? We have people that are used to building your standard terminals, your standard infrastructure, and now we're going to a really different environment. Ammonias, hydrogens, underground storage, different technologies that are going to take a different pathway. As well as we use this as kind of a marketing ploy. Is how do we bring new people into the industry? Is it the old boring bulk storage? We sell this as we are really investing in the future. We're going to be here for the long haul. We're not going to be phased out. We're going to continue to grow with this energy change through the world. So we use that as part of our marketing to colleges, to young people in high school, and show them the excitement, really, of what's to come. And this kind of tells you a little bit about our goals as far as inclusivity and diversity. I'm really proud of Vopak. We have done a really good job, and actually the U.S. is leading in those efforts compared to our global European counterparts. We have a very diverse leadership team. We have over 30% women in our management positions. Our business unit is over 50% female, as well as diverse in race, gender, all those other aspects. We've done a really good job in Houston. I think we have an excellent pool to pull from, so it hasn't been as much of a challenge maybe in other parts of the world. So some of our care, our culture here with the Vopak values, care, integrity, team spirit, commitment, and agility. Again, back to our core values, this is what we sell to new employees coming in, and how we kind of base our business is around these values. So I want to spend most of the time on this. This is my last slide that I want to go through kind of what we're doing to get there. So first, we're looking for skills. So we talk about where's the skills gap and what needs to change and what we need to see in people. We connect with the local high school here, junior colleges, and when they ask, you know, what we need as an industry, these are some of the things that kind of come to mind. We are really data-driven. We need to see people embracing that, understanding data, the flows of data, where it comes from, and then taking that next step to interpret it, understand it, and pull conclusions, and then make business decisions on that data. So we've kind of seen a bit of a gap from that, and we're trying to do it on our own, but also engage with the colleges and high school. I know I talk to Deer Park High School quite a bit, and I'll ask the kids, do you use Excel? Do you use Google Sheets? They say, I do presentations, but they're not really using the technologies that we use every day in first day of your job here. So things like, basic things like that, we really need to engage and make sure that the technologies, the data is really being embraced. Automation. Automation, just not for the sake of automation, but automation for safety reasons. We are a very manual industry. Our operations are very manual, which causes safety issues. So we need to move to be more automated, not just people think you'll lose your job or we're eliminating jobs because of automation. No, it's really a safety concern for us. The fewer hands you have loading a rail car, the fewer movements, moving hoses around, the safer your organization gets. So we are continuing to find more opportunities to automate our systems, from order entry to loading to invoicing, to improve our safety and our operations. So that's a key in the learnings that we're looking for in our new employees. And then the understanding of new technologies, new energies. This is a little bit harder. I think we find that we bring people in and then we grow them and train them on our own. So you might find a few experts, but because it's so new, we're learning and our employees are learning. So we do a lot of joint ventures, partnering with experts, partnering with new technology companies to grow that knowledge. And we're continuing to look for partners in this area to learn from and grow with, to invest in, and to develop this. Hiring strategies. This is where people will ask, well, how do you find diverse candidates? I was in a panel a few weeks ago talking about women, and one of the managers said, well, I was interviewing for a position, I had 9 candidates, and there was only 1 woman. Should I hire her? Well, was she the most qualified? And we don't want to hire people just based on that. We want to pull people that are qualified from the positions. So maybe you're not pulling from the right areas. You're going to have to look outside. Where else can we find, if you're looking for women, where are the women? Where are the STEM women? We've gone to colleges, we've partnered with co-ops in other areas to try to find the candidates you're looking for, find a more diverse pool to pull from. If you just have one person to interview, that might not be the right person for the job. So you have to look outside in your recruiting. We also do training and internships. We've found those very valuable. We've hired quite a few of our internships into our organization. Unfortunately, we're global, so we don't have a manufacturing that we can hire 20 students in. We hire 3 to 5 a year here in the Houston area. But in our Rotterdam office, they have a very healthy program where they hire about 20. But we try to do our best, and then we've hired a large percentage of those. So I highly recommend investing in those young early programs for STEM students. And throughout your organization, we also do accounting. We also do customer service. We've also hired some summer students from the high school to do just low-level tasks. One guy, I think, scanned papers all summer, but he got exposure to our industry and what we can do. One of the other programs that we do is we have a foundation, We Connect, where we reach out and we connect with the communities. I really like the point that Ruth said earlier, where find the pathways that are already there and join those. We bring out students from Deer Park every year to tour our terminal. So they don't just see our terminal and they don't have just people talking at them. We go and we show them all the positions throughout the terminal. And we have a lot of people from Deer Park that have moved into the organization and have moved up. They didn't have college degrees. They started out as an operator and now they're management. So there are these opportunities. You don't just have to be an engineer. You can be a sales manager. You can be customer service. You can be an I&E tech. All these different opportunities, and they see that all in one day and talk to the people doing that and can ask them what was their background, what school did they go to, or did they go to a school, and those kind of questions. And then they have that connection built with those professions. Some of the other things that we do, next with hiring, retention. Retention's a big problem. It's a hot job market. And you have to be competitive. So what puts you above the other ones? We have this talk all the time. Is it a pension? A lot of young people don't understand what a pension is and the long-term aspect of a pension, or 401k, or, what am I making per hour? So you kind of really have to gauge your audience of what's going to keep them there and hold them. We've also found that, this younger generation wants to be promoted real quick. I've been here a year and a half. When am I going to be the manager? We don't have that many manager roles. So you have, our HR team has developed mid-level steps. So if you are an I&E tech, then you can be an I&E tech 1, 2, and 3. So they feel those steps of accomplishment, of gaining something, but they're not going to be VP in 5 years, right? So you have to continuously show them that they're being appreciated, that they're moving in some progressive state. Another thing that we do, and I love this about Vopak, and one of the reasons why I came to Vopak, is we move them from departments. If you started in customer service, that doesn't mean you're going to be in customer service and the only job for you is the customer service manager step up. You could go to sales, you could go to maintenance, you could go to planning and logistics. Keeping those avenues open for them and the possibilities of learning and growing, because when you do have that VP, you want them to know the different areas within your company. So we really move people around and give them that mobility. Some are interested that we're a global company and that you could go work in Rotterdam or you can Singapore, but I just had an interview the other day and I asked that and he said, no, thank you, I want to stay in Houston forever. So, so then that's a candidate where you're going to say, well, how can I retain him and keep him? And luckily Houston, our operation here is very large, and so there's multiple, but if they're going out to Corpus Christi and it's a terminal of 12, how do you keep them engaged? If you want them to move and grow, and if that's one of their priorities. So we have to really look at our employees and what attracts them and how we can keep them engaged and recognized, appreciated, and continue learning. And that's kind of the last part here. We talked about job rotations, different assignments, continuing education. We find that very important, if it's internal, if it's external, but just continuing learning, especially with the digital age. We're needing to have more engaged training, and it just can't be, we're going to put out CBTs. It needs to be a little more engagement than that, so they can relate what they're learning as to what they're doing and their growth path. And then finally, leadership training. We found a gap in this. Sometimes they're good individual contributors, but they don't have all the key components to be leaders or communicators. And so there is that need for leadership training and understanding what makes a good leader. It's not that you're technically the best or that you were excellent at your job. Sometimes it's how you get your ideas across, how you relate to others, how you support those who work, how do you invest in the next generation. So there's a great need that we've seen for leadership training in our organization. So with that,
all right.
that's
Thank
kind
you,
of what I
Kathy.
wanted to share if there's any questions.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Hold on. I want to say thanks, Kathy. I know you participated last year, but this year we see the need in midstream, right? We focus on refining petrochemical, but there's that need in that same environment, right? So we wanted to get her up on the stage this year to kind of let that be known, right? That the same needs are in the same, and it's the fields in your backyard. So any questions for Kathy today before we move on to the next thing?
Oh, it's working now.
Hey, just in time to say thank you. All right. Well, thank you all very much, Kathy. Thanks again. I appreciate your time today.